Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44 coming at you with another video. So, in this one, I heard a rumor, and rumors are not to be taken seriously, but I just kind of felt like it would allow me an opportunity to kind of uh, go down the rabbit hole with this particular conversation. So, basketball time. Uh, Kemba Walker for Kendrick Nunn is what the rumor was. Didn't hold any weight. It wasn't a credible source, anything of that nature. If anything, it was probably just some dude, proposing what he thought would be a cool trade. I come to you with it because I ask, am I really considering if the Lakers can make certain moves like to get better? Do we continue to bring in old guys if that's all we can get? Because while of course this is not ideal, and make it very much known that we probably are not able to trade a injured player, so we're not considering anything like this. But just in the spirit of questioning how the Lakers get better, these are the type of moves, believe it or not, that we'll probably have to consider because our trade pieces are not desirable. So we're gonna have to take on somebody's quote unquote undesirable players as well. Um, Even though I don't look at Kemba Walker as that, I think he's somebody who can still help a team quite a bit, and I would be happy to have him at his best on my team. But with this collection of players, I wouldn't want to bring Kemba in. But even if that's the only type of player we could bring in, even if we have to, like, let's say we need to trade some pieces that we have, and the only thing we can get back is players of that caliber, Blake Griffins and stuff like that, is that really our solution? My mindset is that we need to get better and we need to shore up certain things, and maybe the only pieces we'll be able to bring in are more of the same, is what I'm here to bring to you guys. Like, I don't know what the Lakers can do. Yeah, granted, that sounds silly, because for me, I'm always coming up with different various young players that I think can come out of the woodworks that can help us. If you follow my channel, you know that's what I stand on, but I don't know that's how the Lakers are thinking. When you consider what the Lakers have done, it seems to me that LeBron James is more concerned with bringing players in that he trusts. You know what I mean? Players that he can. I'm not necessarily saying trust on the court. I'm talking about people he can vibe with for the time being, on the plane, on that kind of thing. It seems like he's more interested in having people around him he can relate to, people from his generation. And I just don't think that's the way to go. And you guys know I don't think that's the way to go. But if that's the way they're going, then should we be expecting the Lakers to do something like that? Should we be bracing ourselves for the Lakers to continue to bring in older guys to kind of shore up what it is that we are? Because that was the mentality they had bringing this thing together. Now, granted, you have to bring in the $1 million, $2 million guys in the offseason this year, because really that's all we could afford with bringing in Russell Westbrook's contract. And the players that we brought in are quality, they can shoot and all of that, so you can see the vision. But I think now it's like, okay, even in bringing in the players that you did, you could have brought in some of those same prototype, some of those same skill sets in younger talent at those same prices. Now, albeit that's probably not the way to go if you're trying to win a championship, because in some ways you would say you want the experience to help carry you forward. But isn't that what the old three-man core is for? Shouldn't they have weapons that are young and useful to offset the age that they are? And see, that's why I look at it and I say I think the Lakers are just not building this thing properly. It's the choices that we make with what we have. It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's not, guys that can really help you. It's just that collectively they can't help one another. And that's ultimately what I'm here to say. It's just, I don't know that the Lakers need to get older. I think the Lakers have plenty enough age. I think the Lakers need to be looking for diamonds in the rough. They need to be looking for guys on the back of benches who are itching for an opportunity. They need to be looking for guys who can come together as a bench unit. Role players. Guys who are looking to just play for 1 year somewhere where they can get some minutes and do some things. That's what we need. Because the reality is we need role players who can carry the load, because our stars are in and out of the lineup, learning one another, all of that. So it's just a situation where I say we can have these $1 million contracts. We can have these guys that are lower tier. But do they have to be old? That's all I'm asking. They don't have to be 33. They don't have to be 36. Let those role players who are making $1 million be guys who are in 26, 25, 23. That's kind of what I'm here to say, because I'm looking at guys, and that's another thing. I'm looking at guys on the back of benches, as I've already mentioned. I can put together a team that the Lakers can get full of guys who don't have no value in this league, but can surely as hell help a team like ours, and won't cost us nothing to get. I think, oh my God, I look at guys on the back of Boston bench, like a Grant Williams. No, like you would think nobody wants Grant Williams, but he could definitely help us. He's a rebounder. He bangs. He can hit a corner three. He's developing. He's just getting started. Boston barely wants him. I look at a guy like, you heard me mention Kobe White. His value's low. I don't know if we can get him necessarily. We put together 2 second-round picks who can grab a kid like that. He doesn't help our defense, but he's like an upgrade from some of our shooters who are a little bit older. You know what I mean? Like, say, Wayne Ellington, who's playing well. Kobe White's like a little better version of him, a much younger version of him. And I say that gives us more youth, that gives us more speed, that kind of thing, if we're thinking that way. Look at Bol on the back of the Denver bench. Now, if Denver has any sense, there's no way they were going to part ways with him, certainly not to give him to us. But what I'm saying is he doesn't have any trade. No, that's not true. He has plenty of trade value. But because of the way Denver's been using him, his value is on the ground. Based on how they use him, his value is not where it should be. We should be able to get him. We should actually be able to acquire that player. Now, granted, if they have any sense, they wouldn't give him to us. But the point is that's what we need to be thinking about. How can we get guys like that? Where can I find somebody in the back of a bench that isn't being used properly, that can actually play, that isn't too old, and that isn't going to bring us down defensively? So those are the type of things I'm hopeful the Lakers are thinking. And I think my next challenge is kind of put together a list of those names, kind of give you some of those guys. So the Clippers got a couple of them too. I see them. They're there. Rob Pelinka and our team of guys just need to listen to our scouts, because I got a feeling, some of the scouts and some of our coaches may have a couple of ideas about what it is we should do for our roster to get a little better. I think it's time to start really letting some more voices in on the conversation as it pertains to that Laker locker room. I just feel like it may not be not a locker room. Let me say what I'm saying clearly. In that front office and people who are inputting ideas on how to improve this roster, I think it might be time to start taking some more voices, because right now we've been building for 3 years, and to be honest with you, it's only worked once. We're 1 out of 3 right now, so it might be time for a different approach, and it might be time for a different coach. But you guys already know that's a thing, so it is what it is, man. I'm very, 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 very anxious to see how the Lakers come out against the Clippers next. Since we're talking about the Lakers, the Clippers are obviously, that's a spirited matchup. We got the Clippers and then Boston, so clearly these are 2 very, very important games that the Lakers are expected to win as it pertains to us as a fan base, but not as it pertains to them as a team. Unfortunately, we're not favored to win those games. So this could be a bad week, or it could be a triumphant one. But I'm hopeful that Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook can prove me wrong and lead this team to victory in both of those games. And it would help if they had a team full of young, youthful guys that could help along with the process. So, we do have some youth. I'm not going to sit here and knock the youth that we have, especially guys who are playing well. We got some. We just need more. That's simply what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's it, man. My name is BDF44, man. I'm so dang frustrated with my Lakers. It seems like every video I make is about somehow being frustrated with this team. So, it is what it is. Thank y'all for building up with it. Peace.